I just want people to not feel so confined to niching to where they only can produce one type of content. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand, a place for entrepreneurs and content creators looking to build your brand, business, and impact. And today we are talking about a really hot topic, y'all. We're talking about, should you niche or should you not niche? Because let's be honest, there are people who are advising you to niche and double niche and triple niche down, and then you hear people saying, don't niche, explore, have fun, do what you want, and then see how things evolve. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing whether I think you should niche or not niche. All right, so I think we can all agree on the fact that knowing who you're talking to is important. And in marketing, that is pretty much the foundational principle of building a strong marketing campaign, whether that be content marketing, whether you're, doing commercials or magazine ads. The main thing you want to know before you start creating the content is, who am I marketing this to? Who am I targeting with this? Instead of thinking about niching and finding one area of a subject and then going even deeper in that one subject field, I like to think of content more along the lines of who is actually receiving this content. My first tip is you want to speak to one type of person and not one demographic. Let's break down the difference between target audience and target audience persona. Target audience is more of a general group. So this is more of an ideal group, and you're gonna see some pretty vague or large points of data to describe a target audience because you're describing an entire demographic. We can use a press-on nail company, for example. So their target audience may be, women who are age 18 to 35. Overall, they just enjoy the convenience of press-on nails, right? So that would maybe be a target audience. Now, a target audience persona is the ideal person or type of person that will be consuming your products or services. So a persona is someone who would fit inside of the target audience that we just described, but we're gonna start reviewing their behavioral patterns. So let's use the press-on nail example again. This person who would buy press-on nails, maybe she likes to go to the nail salon, but she just does not have the time. She has a full-time job that she's always working overtime for. She likes fashion, but maybe she kind of gets ready in a hurry. She's always pressed for time, and the key is that she looks good, but she doesn't spend a whole lot of time trying to make sure that she does. So that is more of a target audience persona, is that you're kind of sketching out the behavioral patterns of people within the target audience demographic. So the reason why target audience personas are so important is because as a brand, it gives you the opportunity to then trigger your ideal consumer. So now you can speak to them in their language. Instead of marketing saying, press on nails, convenient for everyone, you say, I know you're in a hurry. I know you're rushing to get ready for work and you still want to look put together. That's why we've made it super easy for you. All you have to do is pop these babies on and everyone's gonna think you just left the salon. So it's kind of like taking the marketing to the next level to then pinpoint the exact need and circumstance that your ideal customer is living in and using that to your advantage to make your product or service more appealing to them. So the next thing is to write down things that are really going to help strengthen your target audience persona. So gender, age. You can write location if location makes a difference in your marketing, but you could write something like large city, or they may live in the country or live in the cold or in the hot weather. If those types of factors are important to whatever your product or service is based on, then you're definitely going to want to make mention of location. Current life experiences. So is this a mom? Is this a daughter? Is this a teacher? What are their current life circumstances? Do they work a 9 to 5? Are they an entrepreneur? What do they currently do and what does their life look like? Then you want to write down some challenges they face. So especially challenges pertaining to how you can help serve them to alleviate those challenges. So for me, my target audience persona struggle with is fear of starting or fear of not really knowing where to start and how to start. They may not have tens of thousands of dollars saved to get this business started, so they may want to know, how can I start a business without spending a whole lot of money? So these are things that are good to know. These challenges are good to know because now you can position yourself to help them overcome those challenges. You also want to write down some hobbies. Maybe they like to read or journal or stay organized. I know one of the things on my target audience persona is like health and beauty. And even though my channel isn't about health and beauty, I still like to look a certain way. I like to dress. Those are things that interest me, and because I, incorporate those things through the way that I am, it attracts a certain type of person. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna create your content around that, but if there's any way that you can infuse certain elements that may also attract that type of person, then those are things you want to include. Financial status. So you're gonna want to know, like, generally where your target audience persona is financially. This is going to make a big difference, especially if you're selling a product or a service, on how you're going to price things. So for me, I get a lot of questions on, how did you come up with the price for your e-brand club or your strategy calls? And for the most part, I try to make things affordable for small business owners who don't have a lot of startup capital. That's why I created the club at a pretty affordable rate of $30 per month, because I wanted it to be accessible to people who don't have $5,000, $10,000 to drop on a coach or on, getting more resources to start up their business. But maybe you are targeting high-end clients, or maybe you are targeting people who, are investors or whatever. So you want to make sure that you include their financial status. And then a really, really important one is their motivators. What makes them move. So that's a big thing. Goals, motivators, anything that kind of has to do with their mindset. And just a little tip is that more often than not, you may have a little aha moment that you are your own target audience persona. So this also gives you a chance to look within yourself and think about who you are and how much you relate to this person that you're targeting. And then it also helps you to think of, well, what is attractive to me? What brands or what channels or what businesses do I enjoy consuming? And how can I infuse some of that into my own brand and try to attract people who are also like me? Another thing to consider is that it is possible to have multiple target audience personas. So to have multiple personas in your business is totally natural. In fact, I have multiple personas. So my e-brand club attracts a certain type of person, and then my strategy calls attract a certain kind of person. And then even, doing YouTube marketing and actually running people's channels attracts a different type of person. It goes from more small businesses to someone who is like borderline corporate and they need someone to just handle it all. And so it is two different types of people, where this person is trying to learn how to do it themselves and this person is trying to, get it done for them, and they have the resources to pay for that. So it really just depends, and you're going to have to sketch out multiple audience personas if you have tiers within your business, or if you have multiple services or products that you provide that may be geared toward different types of people. The next thing to keep in mind is that you can have an anti-persona, and I really recommend that you actually create an anti-persona. And this is something that kind of goes against what you are targeting. So this is the person or the type of business or the type of whoever that you're not trying to market to. And it's important to draw this person out just as extensively as the person you are targeting, so that you don't even try to skirt over into these parts, okay? For example, I'll use my businesses. I predominantly target small businesses, people who are just starting out, who need help with marketing, need help getting their business or their brand off the ground. I am not trying to reach corporations or seven-figure entrepreneurs who have already scaled and have employees and have a full-fledged marketing team. So when you know that, you don't try to market to both of those demographics, and it just helps make your marketing a lot more streamlined. Also, it helps to differentiate you from competition, and it just makes it easier for people to understand whether or not they fit in that demographic. So by knowing I work with small business owners, I work with people who need help, who need direction, and are really a one-man band trying to figure out how to be their own marketing or brand agency, that is my specialty. If you have a marketing team and if you have those resources at your disposal, I am not trying to reach you. Although if you make your way to my content and you like what you see and you want to engage, that's fine. It's not like I'm trying to block the anti-persona, but you just know who you're talking to so you can better cater your messaging toward that person. The next thing you can do is begin to ask your audience questions, take surveys, see if they actually match up to what you've created your target audience persona around. See if they actually have those pain points that you've listed, because you may have to refine your target audience persona based on what the vast majority of your audience is actually going through versus what you thought or think they may be going through. The fifth thing is to actually use your target audience persona and whatever it is you sketch out for it to be, because this is the main thing that's going to help with your marketing. And the cool thing about this versus niching is that because you know all of these things about this type of person, you're able to speak to those different elements of that person. So for example, one of the first videos that that did really well on my channel was how I saved $10,000 on a $30,000 salary. And my goal was to not then see that so many people like that I talked about money, for me to hyper niche my channel and only talk about, how to save, savings tips, and, investing tips, money making tips. Like, I didn't want my channel to become about making money, but I knew that people who would be interested in my content maybe don't have, $100,000 salaries, but they're looking for ways to save up money to start a business or to buy a home or buy a car. And I still want those people in my network because I can then help them start a channel and create content to make money. So it's kind of like it eases them into my channel. But when you know your target audience, you're able to create videos like that. So you can have how to save $10,000 on a $30,000 salary. And then I know, they may like fashion as well. So I can do a work from home clothing haul. And I can do videos on starting a YouTube channel and how to really monetize that. And, it doesn't feel like the channel is all over the place because I'm speaking directly to a certain type of person, because I know their challenges, their current life circumstances, what some of their hobbies may be. And so it makes sense. And I just want people to not feel so confined to niching to where they only can produce one type of content, when the people that you are targeting are so multifaceted. They have other sides of themselves than one thing that you're considering starting your channel on. Look at your target audience persona and figure out, how can I make it all make sense together? Now, I will finish off with, your channel should have some level of cohesion. So I like to tell people, have an overarching theme. So my overarching theme is entrepreneurship. Even though you have this target audience persona, the main goal is entrepreneurship and helping people become an entrepreneur. So you do want to think of a main goal and then go into creating your target audience persona around whatever it is that your goal is to help your audience with, and whatever problem you're trying to help them solve. So I hope this video was helpful. Target audience personas and niching have a lot of similarities, but I think target audience personas give you a little bit more variety. It's like they're more in depth, but it also gives you more range and more depth to explore your content and really get to know the people who are following you. So I hope this video was helpful. Don't get burnt out trying to find your niche, especially if you're just starting your channel. I definitely recommend just starting and finding that overarching theme and then seeing what you like to create. But overall, I say aim for knowing who you're talking to and not only focusing on what should you be talking about. And I think that's the biggest difference between target audience persona and niching. This is more focused on the who, and this is more focused on the what. So if you have questions, leave them down below. And if you want, you can subscribe. You are always welcome back into my internet home whenever you want, whether you lurk or whether you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Child, I don't care. Just come back, okay? I upload every Wednesday and Sunday, and I will see you guys on the next one. Love y'all.